Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time again for this week's Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, where political correctness is not spoken here, compiled by G. Edward Griffin and his News Scouts. And this is for the week of December 22nd through December 28th, 2012. And this is the comic strip for this week, which seems to be what we need to do. Just push them all off the cliff. Everyone. Congress, Senate, all of them. That's right. Have Uncle Sam get rid of these worthless workers. I don't know why we got them in there. They can't do their job, so I don't know what we're doing with them. Alrighty, now to the headlines of news stories you may have missed. And this starting out here is a video of Syrian rebels, mercenaries, attempting to shoot down a commercial jet. This is disturbing because these terrorists are willing to kill innocent civilians, and because they are supported by the U.S. government and financed by U.S. taxpayers, it's just not right. InfoWars, December 28th. Oregon woman finds a desperate plea for help inside a box of plastic Halloween decorations from a Chinese worker in a forced labor camp where the decorations were made. It is sad to read of the harsh life and brutal working conditions. Daily Mail, December 27th. That's coming to America near you also, because they're already putting the prisons with factories hooked to them and charge 25 cents an hour to work there. You get 25 cents an hour. Yeah. Anyways, the U.S. Senate rejected 3 attempts Thursday to add oversight and privacy safeguards to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The amendment that authorized warrantless wiretapping. A final vote on the measure has been set for Friday and is expected to be renewed. HuffPost, December 27th. Alrighty, next. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor denied a request to block part of the federal health care law that requires employees' health care plans to provide insurance coverage for the morning after pill and similar emergency contraception pills. CNS News, December 27th. Craziness. It's where you're getting bad when everybody's got to pay for everybody else's birth control and they can't pay for it out of their own pocket. It's bad. Oh, here's the creature. U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein, the New York Governor Cuomo are planning to introduce an Australian-style gun buyback program to disarm American citizens. This is in spite of the fact that violent crimes rose in Australia after guns were confiscated. Emoland, December 26th, and they have more break-ins and everything. They have home invasions going out of sky high because they took away the responsible citizens' guns, and the only ones have it now are the criminals. I don't know how they get away with thinking that's the way it is, except that we have a draconian government that wants to be a tyrannical and take everything its freedom to Americans away. And that's what they're working on. Next, U.S. Navy sailors are suing the Japanese government and the power company TEPCO for lying about the dangerous radiation levels from the Fukushima disaster while they assisted in rescue and relief efforts. Watching television, December 26th. Yep, they probably got some good exposure from there. They're saying that Tokyo's more radioactive than Fukushima. That's just kind of scary. Video. Egypt. Officials announced that the highly contested pro-Islamic constitution was voted in despite accusations of voter fraud or vote fraud and low turnouts. Sydney Morning Herald, December 26. Iran reports that they were able to thwart a Sputnik computer virus that targeted a power plant and other industries. The U.S. and Israel are considered to be the originators of the Sputnik virus. BBC, December 25th. Next video, how are the Chinese converting their American dollars into tangible assets before the purchasing power of those dollars disappears? Well, of course, they're buying America. Literally, they are buying American businesses and real estate. In California, 1 out of every 10 homes is being bought by Chinese with U.S. dollars from China. Watch this YouTube and see for yourself, December 25th. We're losing this country in more than one way. Next, the New York Journal News published names, addresses, and Google Map locations of local citizens who have permits for handguns. The data was obtained by the Freedom of Information request and was presented in the same manner as a public disclosure of sex offenders. The purpose was to create a community scoring against those who practice their Second Amendment right. InfoWars, December 24th. Yeah, these people were saying that they want our guns taken away and was booing down the NRA. You know they're going to be the first ones lined up and shot by this very tyrannical government. That they're so busy trying to get everyone who's responsible citizens' guns away. They don't realize that that's the only thing keeping the government from being another Hitler, Stalin, Mao. Name your dictator. They're just stupid. They're getting paid off, or just stupid of them. U.S. The FBI, Department of Homeland Security, consider the Occupy movement as a terrorist threat and treat their public demonstrations as criminal activities. All these people want them to do is to wake up and pay attention. There's a lot of unemployment out there. There's a lot of bull going on from the government. That's what's going on out there. It shouldn't be happening in America. They're deliberately bringing this country down to a banana republic. That's what it's coming down to. As we speak, they're trying to take our guns and turn us into a banana republic. Next, an International Monetary Fund report reveals that global derivatives marketed valued at $600 trillion is backed by only $600 billion in real assets. And many of those are overvalued, an event of an economic meltdown. That means the asset reserves holding up this gargantuan structure are, at best, only 0.1% of the total liability. Nothing even close to this has ever happened before in history. What could possibly go wrong? Everything, I'm telling you, everything. Hope you got your gold and silver and your food and anything else that you can trade with, because you're going to need it. Zero Hedge, December 24th. The Pentagon plans to send military training teams to 35 countries in Africa next year. This, they say, is to help those countries defend themselves against extremists and terrorists. Critics say the U.S. is using the excuse of terrorism to lay the foundation for expanding its power and control over the natural resources on that continent. What do you think they've been doing for years in the Middle East? That same thing. Press TV, December 24th. It's the only reason we're in the Middle East. We have nothing over there to do anything. There's no terrorists over there except us. Terrorizing those countries and those people. Next, U.S. The EPA has tightened restrictions against burning wood. That's right, you can't even keep yourself warm. They want you to freeze to death, even when that is the only viable source of heat. The absurd logic is that you must freeze to death now, rather than risk the long-term possibility of dying from inhaling too much soot. New American, December 23rd. Craziness. People don't have stuff for keeping their house warm except wood burners. And they work very, very well. I have friends that have them. The wood burners work very well. They put them in their basement, and they start them up, and it keeps the whole house warm. And it hardly uses any wood. Anywho, India. Thousands of protesters fought with police as they tried to storm India's presidential residence and government buildings, expressing outrage over government inaction against 6 men accused of gang raping a woman on a bus. The demonstrators want a swift trial and the death penalty. Daily Mail, December 23rd. They should be punished for that. Just can't get this lawlessness. Absolute lawlessness. Next, the American Academy of Pediatrics reversed its long-standing opposition to mercury in children's vaccine and now say there is no evidence that it is harmful. That's right. It changes every month. It'll say it's harmless, and then next time it'll say it'll give you brain damage. Which is it? We can only guess at how Big Pharma engineered this turnaround, but we can be sure it was expensive. Counterpunch, posted December 23rd. Unbelievable. Now vaccine's harmless again, even though if you break a thermometer at a school, they call in the hazardous disposal units to clean it up. A damn broken thermometer. But yet it's okay if you take it intravenously and through a syringe. Crazies, I'm telling you, they're just nuts. U.S., the FDA is close to approving a fast-growing genetically engineered fish that combines DNA from two types of salmon and an eel. The FDA says it probably will not harm the environment or interfere with natural salmon, but they are not certain. If they are wrong, the damage can never be reversed. The FDA is heavily influenced by the genetically modified organism industry, so they will approve it anyways, no matter if it destroys the planet. They don't care. It's not getting there. It's the journey is what these people, these psychopaths have in their head. It's not the destination, but the journey getting there is what they get off on. It's craziness. They don't care what the result is as long as the journey's fun. Alright, here we go. An article of importance. U.S. Thousands of criminal prosecutions by state and local governments, including those involved in rape and murder, now are being questioned. Convictions were based on hair matching analysis done by technicians who were trained by a group of FBI officials found lying about their findings in order to attain convictions. Many state and local prosecutors have testified that they follow the practices and guidelines of their teachers at the FBI. Washington Post, December 23rd. See, that's criminal activity in the alphabet soups. And the alphabet organizations out there. Freedom of speech is being squashed in Australia. Yeah, like it's getting ready to be here, especially if the speech is critical of vaccines. You can't even argue vaccines. They got carbon tax bull over there too. If you can't prove it, they could fine you $1 million for saying that the carbon tax is a scam and Al Gore invented scam. The government is trying to silence vaccine skeptics and allows personal attacks against them. Gaia Health, December 23rd. Madness can't explain it. Here's the Trooper, a tearjerker for sure. Check that out. Now to the analysis. Japan has no accountable way to get rid of its growing stockpile of nuclear waste. The buildup of plutonium waste was slated to be processed through new nuclear fast-breeding plants, but they have failed. The US, UK, Russia are facing similar problems. NPR, December 28th. Video. Ben Swan explains that the Feinstein-Lee amendment to the 2013 NDAA that supposedly would prohibit the government from indefinitely detaining American citizens without due process actually does not do that. It is another example of clever wordsmanship to deceive the voters. This is especially disturbing because this amendment is endorsed by Senator Rand Paul, generally considered to be a staunch opponent of the NDAA. He's been hoodwinked too. He's looking forward to try to run for president in 2016. I don't think Obama's going to allow anyone to run after him. He's just going to go for a third term. Go get us into World War III and he'll get to stay in there just like FDR. Okay, video. Ben Swan explains the origin of the Second Amendment. It was created to allow American citizens to defend their country from foreign invaders and to defend themselves even against their own government if it should become tyrannical as it is now. The intent was to have an armed society that can match citizen force against state force. That's the truth. Reality check, December 23rd. It's what the Second Amendment's really for. It's not for hunting. It's not for anything like that. It's for keeping the government under control and its foreign invaders. It's infected district of criminal. Video. This is the most concise analysis of both sides of the gun control debate we have seen. Most of the points in Part 2 are seldom mentioned in the current public debate. Highly recommended. Part 1, pro-gun control. Part 2, against gun control. Success Council, posted December 23rd. Gotta check that out. Moving on. Next video. Architect Richard Gage reminds us that 9/11 is the excuse that is used by the government to wage aggressive wars around the world and restrict the freedom of its citizens. Therefore, it is the utmost importance to recognize that the collapse of the 3 buildings on 9/11 was the result of controlled demolition. Here is a short yet compelling overview of the evidence. Building 7 falls with nobody there. YouTube, December 23rd. Another video, man aged 110 credits his longevity to food. You may not be surprised at what food he avoids, red meat, but what he does eat may interest you. It includes garlic, honey, cinnamon, chocolate, and olive oil. YouTube, posted December 21st. On to the next video. Renaissance Being a Frequency is an excellent documentary that, despite its acceptance of the theory of evolution that we cannot endorse for scientific reasons, nevertheless does present an accurate and sobering analysis of the health hazards from cell phones and Wi-Fis. It is not an exaggeration to say that this is rapidly increasing electromagnetic pollution, if allowed to continue, may become a threat to the survival of all higher life forms, including the human race. YouTube, December 21st. Click and be amazed. An orchestra for kids with instruments made from trash. That's right. Next picture. Great photos. Teamwork. Cat helping the other cat up. Interesting. That's a cool picture. What else do we got here? Oh yeah. Bim Bernanke. Click and enjoy. This is discovered rare footage of Bim Bernanke as a child. And this is what he's done. See, we wonder where he gets that throwing that money away. Well, there it is. This is from the Little Rascals. And it says everything. It's Bim Bernanke when a kid, as a boy. Anywho. Alrighty then, let me go back. Alright, and that's this week's newsletter from the Reality Zone. And there's some more discussions down here. Don't forget to check out his books on the right side. Every one of these books are important for your understanding of what's really going on. What the government's really up to and what they've been trying to get up to. Well, that's it for headlines you may have missed. I'll have a link to this newsletter and below the video, and you'll be able to read all these articles. Until next time, have a wonderful evening and have a nice weekend. Be good or be good at it, and good day.